Hey, this one's about Darren Aronofsky. I think Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, and Mother are three of the greatest horror movies of all time. Now, I don't know how many people even classify those movies as horror because, they're kind of a lot of things, but I don't know of a whole lot of other movies that build to such apocalyptic levels of, oh God, please make it stop, levels of dread, and then just leaves you there to thrash and moan for like half the movie the way this stuff does. It is intense, it's terrifying, and I'm always just like laying with my eyes wide open the night of watching those things. And I think what makes it so special is the way that the monster comes from within in Aronofsky's stuff. So for most horror movies, the violence is kind of the fun part. It's why you're there. You want to go, and then giggle about it with your friends. Like even in this recent wave of socially conscious horror like Us or Hereditary, there's something thrilling about the violence. It's a catharsis, like the fear you feel when you're on a roller coaster.
I have a real problem with violence and sexuality being used for no reason. Those are very easy tools to rely on and very dangerous to abuse. I try to be truthful to what violence is. There's nothing glamorous about it.
With Aronofsky, violence is always weighed down with a sense of profound tragedy. I'm talking about the mythic sense of capital T tragedy. I'm talking about Greek theater levels of catharsis. Aronofsky often talks about studying the universal qualities of ancient stories and how tragedy is at the root of these structures.
And I was talking about how tragedies are really not made in American cinema at that time. There was really no tragedies, and how it's sort of this dead art form that was like a big part of literature and theater for a long time before that, but it kind of died with the Hollywood happy ending, and that there's a value to it in that through the catharsis of those characters, you actually can apply that stuff to your life.
According to Aristotle, the most important characteristic of tragedy is that it leaves in the audience a sense of fear and pity. And I think Aronofsky's the rare horror director who values the pity part just as much as the fear. He has a lot of compassion for his characters. The horror doesn't come from some monster who's trying to kill them. It comes from the way he forces us to look at the world through the eyes of somebody who's slowly killing themselves. Whether it's the consistent use of claustrophobic close-ups versus the more zoomed out reverse shots in Mother to make us really feel her anxiety and isolation, to the body horror of Nina's transformation into the Black Swan as she twists her psyche into somebody she's not, to any shot in Requiem for a Dream's nightmare of addiction. It's all about making us live in the same hell that they are. In all of Aronofsky's movies, and often in Greek tragedy, the protagonists create their own worst nightmares, like when Medea kills her own children, or when Oedipus Rex gouges out his own eyes. Unlike a lot of horror, which is all about trying to escape fear, Aronofsky's characters cling to it and refuse to let go of it no matter how much pain it brings them, because they're chasing this beautiful dream. Like in Requiem for a Dream, they're chasing these plans that that are going to make them feel like they have more value or security or popularity or whatever, while at the same time that they're feeding these drug addictions that are turning them into nothing. You've got Black Swan, where Nina is contorting her body and mind and psyche, trying to live up to this impossible ideal of perfection, or the mother who chooses to stay with this man who time and time again brings her nothing but increasing agony.
When you're chasing after a future you're never going to get, you create a hole in the present. You use anything to fill that hole, whether that's drugs or the dream of a better life. And what happens is, the hole keeps growing until it engulfs you.
The most horrific part is that these characters never even try to escape. Even as their worlds are burning down around them, they just keep wallowing in this state of complete pain until finally they completely destroy themselves. And for me, that's one of the most horrific stories you can tell. Yeah, the boogeyman's scary, but Nobody can hurt you the way that you can hurt you.